another interview, and it started an hour earlier than anticipated because of daylight saving. So,
okay.
yeah.
But yeah, this is Muzi. He is the director of African America, as well as the co-writer and producer with his sister Pumi. So we can go ahead and start, Sydney. But like I said, the movie is so good. Even if I wasn't their publicist, I would love this movie. It made me cry, it made me angry, it made me happy, it made me cheer. It was all the things and all the feelings, and I really enjoyed it.
Great, good. Well, I'm so happy to be able to talk to you all. And right now it's being recorded, so be aware. I'm not an editor, so whatever happens, happens. I might not show it all. I might not show any of it, but I'll take notes after. And I loved it too. I was first was, ooh, the ancestors, this ancient wedding. And then I see her with this new jewelry and I think, that doesn't quite work, new jewelry. And then I learn it's today, it's not ancient, it's just an ancient practice. And then I was astounded at her for stealing that money and just hopping off to US like it's a jump across a pond. And then I felt so sad about that young man she married. What a sad story, what a dead-ended life. So I was with it the whole time. I congratulate you. It was a really interesting movie. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes, I think the thing about how it began, opening it, I think the film makes a contrast between, I suppose, African marriage and marriage in the United States, right? Because the film is really about the contrast between the two. And basically, I guess I wanted to show, and I think one of the rituals that were there in the opening scene, I don't know if you caught it, but it's the smearing of blood, right? Because basically in our weddings, there's a sacrifice of an animal, right? At every wedding that happened. And so that blood is then smeared on the body of the bride before she gets in. So I guess what that is about, and that's actually a nod to South African culture, because her entire journey that she embarks on later on, many Africans would assume that it's actually punishment from the ancestors, right? Her entire journey, the hard time that she actually goes through. It's because our marriage is not as simple as going down and just signing something at the court of the peace. Our marriage, blood is shed, and so it's a very serious thing, you know what I mean? So you're right to actually observe just how serious and how somber the process is. And I think Phumelele doesn't quite understand it. And I think the whole journey of the film is about her coming to realization as to the commitment that she actually made back home. And I think the stealing of the money, I think is pretty much, it compounds that as well. It's as an extra urgency to it.
Yeah, the issue of the money was really important, and she brings it up. Oh, you paid for me? No, I'll never bring it up. And then he brings it up, and then it comes up again and again. Very interesting, just on the idea of women as property that you pay for.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I think the thing is as well, it's the amount of money that you actually pay for, the amount of lobola that's actually paid, that's the actual, that's what the practice is called. It's actually the same amount as one would pay in the West for an engagement ring, to be fair, Yeah. But, right. So, so I think, yes, that's a big, I think for modern African women, that is absolutely a conflict, about how do you reconcile. In fact, even in South Africa, there's actually been, because, the economy has been so, harsh and so bad, in the last couple of years, there's actually been a reluctance on many African couples to actually get married nowadays because they simply can't afford it, you know what I mean? And so as a result, a lot of relationships in our country, have children before they have marriage because they can't afford the kids, can't afford to get married. Marriage is it's very complicated, especially in 2021. And the film, I think it also touches on that as well.
Wow.
So yeah.
So tell me more, how did you come up with this story idea?
Okay, well, my sister, who hopefully will be joining us soon, she actually left South Africa to go study musical theater at AMDA, which is a musical theater academy in the United States. And she was there for like 8 months. But when she came back, she was just so traumatized by the experience. And you have to understand, going to America was always a dream for both of us. Being, being in South Africa and watching American movies and things, like going to America and it was a huge, huge, huge goal. So for her to come back so disillusioned and so frankly traumatized by it, and this was like during the Obama years and things, but like just how expensive it was and also just how tough it is there. It really shook something in her, and so she decided to put it to pen, put pen to paper, and just start to write the screenplay, write the story rather. And then I came in to write the screenplay in 2017. And now at this point, it was now the Trump administration, and so therefore America was shifting before my very eyes, and so I felt like a lot of that stuff was influencing, where the character Phumelele goes. So while the genesis of the film may be based in like autobiography, it actually we fictionalized a bunch of things. So there was no marriage, there was no, all of that stuff pretty much happened. And basically it was about realizing for her what being married, not even being married to an American is, but what actually it means to be African, to be an African American woman, and to deal with a lot of trauma that African American men face. It sits on the shoulders of many Black women or on their Black women. And so for her to be with Jaquan, she literally is, taking on all of that kind of things. And that's what you realize about what marriage is. When you're married to someone, you're taking on their life, you're taking on their struggles, you're taking on all of that. And so for her to be American, it costs a lot more than she bargained for. And that's pretty much where the genesis of the film went. So yeah.
Yeah. It was fascinating to see the cross-cultural understanding come up. And so, oh my, really, really, well, okay, I rave enough. I don't need to rave.
You can never rave enough, Sydney. You can never rave enough.
Right.
So were you and your sister always writers, screenwriters? What were your ambitions before? Is this your first film? I have no idea. I forgot to check that.
No problem. My parents were television producers from as early as the 1980s. Basically, when the apartheid government, which as we know was the oppressive regime in South Africa, when they wanted to have television content or use the public broadcaster to broadcast to the Black population of South Africa, my mother started off, first of all, as a newsreader in the organization, eventually becoming a commissioning editor and eventually a producer. My father worked as a vision mixer, and the two of them got together and they formed what is now MVP Productions. And so they did a bunch of television content. But then because of corruption within the organization, what happened was that work dried up. There was no opportunity for them to write at all. But nonetheless, my sister and I continued to go. Both of us went to the National School of the Arts. I went to the Wits School of Arts for my degree. My sister went to Rhodes. And basically, as soon as we graduated, my mother said, guys, let's, now that you guys are qualified, let's revive the business. And so what we did is that we produced 2 seasons of a youth drama series for the public broadcaster called Mutual Friends. I wrote it and I created it. My sister also co-wrote it and co-produced it. And then just like, as the history was repeating itself, corruption hit the broadcaster again, and so we didn't get renewed for a 3rd season. And so we just, again, we saw family history playing itself out, and we decided to have a more sustainable career in this industry that we love. So that's why we ventured into independent filmmaking, and this film, African America, is pretty much our coming out party, as a way of saying to the world that not only are we South African filmmakers, but we make films for a global audience. And African American theme, as well as in its distribution and exhibition, really is a symbol and a testament to that.
Yes, how fascinating. Good. Oh, I'm thrilled that it's your first and I get to talk to you about it. Great. I know you so far. It was really good. A great idea to go international, because this mixture of the world right now, it's like we're stirring up this pot and it's so good.
Right.
You're you got it. You're in it.
Thank you so much, Sydney. Thank you so much.
Yeah, congratulations. Excellent.
Thank you. No problem.
Yeah, and then after you wrote the script, what was the journey? I mean, I saw that the South African Film Organization, NV, I forget what it is, but I saw they were a part of it. But what was your journey? How did you get that script moving ahead?
Oh, you mean the NFEF? The
And that's
NFEF,
what-
yes.
Yeah.
The
And-
NFEF. So, okay. So basically what happened is that as soon as we developed the script through the National Film and Video Foundation, which is a funding body in South Africa. So they gave us funds to actually develop the script. And upon developing it, they pretty much submitted us for IFP, the Independent Filmmakers Project, in Brooklyn, New York, whereupon we met Avril. Avril Speaks, and how we got connected through her. And she pretty much has just been instrumental in us navigating the US portion of the shoot, but also the release of the film. So that's pretty much how the two of us, the three of us got connected.
Okay, perfect. So say the South African Development Corporation's name again, just for the record, so that we all know.
Okay, the National Film and Video Foundation, that's the NFDF.
Yes.
So they came on board as to help fund the development, but as well as the production, along with the Gauteng Film Commission. They also put funds towards production of the film. Okay,
so I mean, I see them whenever I go to a film market. They're always there.
Yes.
They're in Toronto. They're always there, and I talk to them occasionally, but I've never seen the hard stuff. So you're the hard stuff that they've done. So then, yes. I'm so interested that they submitted it to IFP, which is now called something else. IFP is now.
It's now the Gotham.
The Gotham. So I'm so interested that they submitted it there and got it in. And now we can talk about Avril and how IFP worked for you. How did that all work? That's really important. My readers, I want them to be the emerging filmmakers. People need to know this. So how did it work? How did you meet them? Why were you there? Tell me how you two connected.
So I actually am very good friends with IFP, the Gotham, because they supported a previous film that I did called Gin. And that's kind of how my relationship with the Gotham started. And through that relationship, I want to say, there may have been a time where the Gotham has what they call IFP Week, which is a week where all filmmakers converge and look for financing, and look for partners, and any kind of support that they can get for their projects. And so the year that I was there for Gin may have been the same year that Muzi and Phumi were there representing African America, but it wasn't until the year after, when Gin was already released. So Gin was released in 2018. And that winter, I was in production on another film, and I got an email from IFP, from Gotham. It's a new name change, so I keep remembering this thing. So when I was on set for that film, the Gotham reached out and said that there were some filmmakers who were looking for a US producer for a film that they were working on. So they connected us via email. And then we set up a call. They sent me the script. We set up a call. And I think it just kind of went from there. And I mean, I fell in love with the script from the beginning, but then, meeting Phumi and Muzi over the phone, it was just, I don't know, there was just a connection there, I think, from the beginning. So that's just how it all started. It really started with the Gotham sending an email saying, hey, there's this brother and sister that have this script. And it's like, okay.
Wow. That's amazing. And then you met on the phone. You didn't even meet in person. And
No, we met.
Yeah. That's what's really crazy is that, you know, at that time, this was like pre-Zoom era, like nobody was really using Zoom. I think we tried to use FaceTime a couple of times and it just didn't
Never
work.
worked.
Like,
Never worked.
So the first time we met each other was when they flew to New York and we were like in the hotel or like on an elevator. And I think we were on an elevator or something. But they were in New York. When they came to New York, that was our first time meeting in person.
Yeah.
After many
During our pre-production. pre-production. I think Pumi actually met Avril. I think
that's
prior,
right.
I think was it the American? You
Oh my
actually met
goodness.
her at
That was so funny because it was such a chance encounter. So Pumi had come to the American film market, and so she was in the US for that. And I knew that she was in town, but the film Jin was also releasing at that same time. And so we had a screening at CAA. And so we had talked and, we were like, we'll try to connect, but she had a lot of meetings and I had a lot of stuff going on for the film release. And I happened to be at CAA because we had a screening at, at this agency, and I'm standing in the lobby and I hear someone go, Avril? I turn around and it's Pumi.
Oh my God.
What are you doing here? So it was kind of crazy. It was
funny.
like this chance encounter.
But Avril and we actually only locked eyes during our pre-production, like 3 days before we had to start shooting. That's how we met. But I can't say like it was new or there was anything that put me off guard because we were in such contact leading up to production. We spoke almost, I think, if not daily, then it's surely, I'm sure, like multiple times a week at that time leading up to.
Yeah. If not daily. There were moments where I think we did talk every day. But so we had several conversations, and it felt like by that time I had gotten the rhythm of the time difference. I was like, it's 7 a.m. I'm ready.
And the time difference has actually been good for us because pretty much it's like 5 to 6 p.m. Like when we every time we meet, but she has to wake up at like 8 or like 6 or 7.
Yes. I know. Yeah. When I have to call LA, it's like, it's either going to be 11 p.m. there and they're exhausted. And I have to get up so early and it's crazy. Oh, here comes
crazy.
I'm going to let Pumi.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if I met Pumi or Avril during that AFM. Did one of you go to Steve Solo's workshop?
Pumi may have gone to that. I kind of dropped that year. I kind of dropped in, dropped in here and there. But yeah. Steve Solo used to give a workshop, and someone stopped me in the lobby there, and it wasn't at AFM. Hi, Pumi.
Hi there. I'm so sorry.
Not a problem. We were talking.
No.
Away. Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Nice to meet you. I'm sorry. I thought I had an extra half an hour to get cooking and everything, but you roll with the punches.
Yeah, we're talking about daylight savings time right now.
It's
crazy with the time. I think South Africa and Berlin is only 1 hour difference. Although now you're on daylight savings time and we're not. So what time is it there?
It's 28 past 5, 28 past 17:28 right now.
So it's 16:28 here. So we're still, that's odd. Oh, well, time is relative. You know,
I guess we were told 6 p.m., but yeah.
Okay, well, anyway.
Mistakes made there.
So Avril, Jin was a success, wasn't it? I recall hearing about Jin. It had word of mouth.
Yeah, Jin was a successful film. We premiered at South by Southwest and then played at a number of festivals. And then we received distribution through MGM Orion Classics. So it was a successful film and did very well both in the U.S. and internationally as well. We're still selling some territories internationally, but yeah, it did very well.
And that was with Orion Classics?
or I should say Orion. I think they dropped the, well, no, it was, Orion
Yeah.
Classics. They did a rebrand, like right before our film released.
Ah,
They rebranded the company, I think in that May of 2018, I believe. They rebranded the company and they're focusing more on independent film.
are they doing it now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that. So it's not
Yeah.
Michael Barker and Tom Bernard and Dylan Liner. Oh, I had no idea that they were now buying acquisitions in the art house world or independent segment. Excellent.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how about this film? This film, African America, premiered at the Pan-African Film Festival. Was that its world premiere? And how did
Correct. That was,
it go? I mean, you're not there. Well, you are, but was there anything live anyway?
no, everything was virtual this
Right.
year. So everything was online, which, was disappointing because we were so excited about, kind of being able to go to festivals and share in that festival experience. But it was good in the sense that, especially the nature of this film, it being a film about two continents, being shot over two continents, like we were able to share the film with people all over at one time.
Mm-hmm.
So it ended up being very good for us. And, we've gotten great feedback and, people seem to enjoy the film. They enjoy the story, they enjoy the characters. So we've gotten a great response from the film so far.
Oh, good. And
Yeah.
Fumi, did you enjoy it, even though you couldn't come to LA?
I did. It was very enlightening, especially to get the context of what films, particularly of filmmakers of African descent, are doing all over the world, and seeing just some of the other films and how really how stories really just tend to just transcend those the geographical lines that we're so used to. That's been just a great experience, and also the exposure to an audience that we might not have otherwise had exposure to has really just been awesome. And seeing how the story resonates with those audiences, and knowing that it's actually something a lot of people can relate to. It's been a wonderful experience.
And also, given the fact that it's our first film, like it's been considerably cheaper than it would have been had we actually been there.
Yes, I know.
As opposed to being, right, as opposed to having to go there. I mean, for example, the National Film and Video Foundation again has been really, really wonderful. They gave us marketing distribution funding, and those funds could actually have gone to our publicist Daria Fennell. We're actually able to put that there as opposed to having to now ration it out between air tickets and accommodation and things. So actually, it's actually been very rather fortuitous that actually it happened, this way.
Happens
Yeah.
this way, yeah. No, really, it has.
Yeah, you could save some money and use it for, you have to just put your ego aside. You're not going to be bowed down to,
Phumelele.
adored and all that, but that's okay. For people, that's
It's
all right.
okay. We'll see the Kardashians some other time. We'll see the Kardashians some other time.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, it's great. You have Avril and you have the publicist, which is really important. And
Yes.
you have more eyes watching than would do it normally. It would normally be
Correct.
LA people that can come, and it's always confusing in LA. Festivals have a hard time in LA because everyone's so busy doing their movie stuff themselves. Festivals have a
Right.
hard time in LA.
That's very true. That's
Yeah.
very true. I mean, unfortunately, like the LA Film Festival is a casualty of that. Like they used to have the Los Angeles
Yeah.
Film Festival. It no longer exists for that very reason.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And then they're constantly pulling the money out from AFI Fest. I mean, that's it.
Mhm.
There's no other, I
Yeah.
mean, they're the niche festivals, but then you get the niche people, you don't get the broader spectrum of people. But
Yeah.
this time you could. I enjoyed it. I saw a lot of interesting, good films. This is the only one no, it's not the only one I've written about it, but this is the only one I'm interviewing and doing all this with. So
Wow.
Fumi, I don't believe you were the star. You were the star?
Yes.
You don't look at all like the star. You look like,
No, she had makeup and the whole bit, and I was just, yeah. So I had to take my producer hat off and be that girl.
wow. Well, you were so different. I mean, I wouldn't recognize you. I don't recognize people anyway, stars, except if it's Paul Newman. I once saw him and I knew that was Paul Newman. Oh my God. But usually in LA, I don't recognize the stars. I just don't
Oh, really?
translate from the screen image to the face-to-face image. Somehow I miss it. So
That's good, because I think this character will have quite a lot of people who want to throw stones at her. So the less they recognize me, the better.
yeah, I mean, she was a bitch and she wasn't a bitch. She was perfectly nice. She was a wonderful person. And you changed looks so much. It was so interesting. There were moments you were just gorgeous, drop dead, gorgeous. And others, you know, you're trying to get your suitcase down the metro. You're just normal. It was astounding, all the different visions you portrayed. And when you got your hair done, oh my God, that was gorgeous. I kept wondering, is that really your hair? I don't know.
The answer is no.
And
we had a great team, a great just hair and makeup and wardrobe team that yeah, that was intentional on Muzi's part, just, you know, just her transformation look wise. So at least we can take that off.
yeah. And about your character, I mean, it was very ambiguous. I mean, it's human, I gotta say, it's totally human. We do things. They can be interpreted really bad. You did take him for a ride for the green card. No, you didn't. You were totally innocent, but you did. You stole money. I mean, that's horrible. For a while, I really didn't like you at all, because how could you just steal money like that? But it was so human. The whole movie really worked out beautifully, beautifully. Even the mother slapping you and then hugging you. Oh,
Yes. Very human response, yes.
But if I can just point out, like, and this is like, who I'm about to embarrass you, but like, this is why I think she is just such an incredible actress. Like, what I love the most about Phumi in this role was, again, her willingness to really get underneath the skin of this character, not judging her at all, but literally being with her each and every step of the way of this particular decision. And I think the entry point for that, I'll let Phumi obviously, you know, speak for herself, but I think not only the autobiography of the character, I suppose, helped, but I think more than that, I think it was just that fact that we actually were living out the themes of the film as we were making it, right? We were risking stuff. Certainly we didn't steal no money, and certainly we didn't, like, you know, have to marry people to get the film done, but we certainly were breaking boundaries, going beyond what was acceptable for first-time filmmakers to actually make this film happen in America and going all the way there. So it was really, those emotions were just right there. And I think Phumi's generosity of spirit actually let us in. I think also another fact about it, that Phumi had actually given birth 5 weeks before we started shooting. She just given birth to her first child. And when we were in New York, I could see that she missed her baby so much, you know? And there was a moment where the scene at the bridge where her and Jaquan share that first kiss, and then she looks away from him, and there's this look on her face. So this look of her wishing to be back home, this look of her knowing that there's someone else back home. It works so well with the themes of the film. So when we were cutting it, like, the sense of truth that she was able to bring to this character, you know what I mean? And I think that's why she's so scary. Because like you say she's a bitch, but she wasn't, because there's a level of empathy that the actress was able to bring. It was a genius performance. Genius performance. I was very, very spoiled. I was very spoiled.
yeah.
Love you, Phumi. Love you.
Thank you.
So
Love
good.
you.
No, it was
That's my
very-
brother, Toby. He's been my biggest fan since
How
18
great.
months old.
Aw. Oh. Do you live in the same city? Do you see each other?
Yes, often. With the lockdown, there's been a bit of a break. In how often we see each other, but we talk often. Yeah, best friends.
Wow,
Best friends.
You're lucky. Very nice. Well, he's right. I mean, you were very, very authentic. You could not get past at the very beginning, I felt the inauthenticity because I thought I always am extremely critical. I was a film buyer. I'm extremely critical of films. So,
Yes.
so at the beginning, I was saying before you came on board here, I thought, oh, this is an ancient ancestral ritual, the marriage. And then I see her and they put these new beaded bracelets. I think, those aren't new, those are new. This can't be old. And so that was my inauthenticity, getting it. Okay,
Yes.
I found it, but it wasn't so at all. It was totally modern, which was part of the charm of this film. You're led into something ancient, but it's modern. It's totally modern. And then you're led into America and she just lands there like it's just a jump across a pond, like it's nothing. She has no green card, she's stolen money. She just goes and thinks she's gonna make it into Broadway. It was really good, really good. And I searched your face when I needed, like, is this real? And you were just right there, really innocent of any guile. You were just doing it as a character. And it was really, really interesting and touching to me.
That's such, wow, my heart is warm. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I can't believe you left a baby. I mean, she was 8 weeks? How old was
she was 7 weeks when we took off. The story was, how it happened is we got funding from the National Film and Video Foundation in South Africa was it 2018? Early in 2018. So they were expecting us to have shot the movie in 2018 and we hadn't because we were still trying to raise other funds because at the time we thought the budget was going to be a lot bigger than what it ended up being. And so I got an email. I was I think I was like 38 weeks pregnant at the time. I got an email from the funder, completely innocent, just asking, hi, just following up on when this film is, going to be made. I completely freaked out and I had an emergency C-section on that day because of that email, like literally in that moment. I was so stressed out because it was just such a stressful process. And then, I had the baby, but the whole time, while I'm enjoying her and we're going through this bonding experience, I'm riddled with this, this guilt of where is this film that, because they had already transferred the money into our account. So I decided with Muzi that we need to call Avril, and we got on a call with Avril about when she was about 4 weeks old. And we said, listen, we have to shoot this movie. We don't have a lot of money. How much was it, Avril? It was like $80,000.
Yeah.
We have to go and shoot. We hadn't met Avril face to face at that point.
You had, remember you met her at AFM.
Oh, yes, we met at, yes, as a pair. We hadn't met till we met at AFM. Yes, that's true.
That's so funny.
It feels like so long ago.
And then
and then we touched down in New York City, and there was just, I must say that about it, just the work ethic of Americans in the film industry. It was a pleasure to shoot it. It was just so light because in South Africa it's quite because artists go for very long periods of time without jobs and without even things as simple as meals. So you have to just constantly cater to South Africans and making sure that they're full and have trucks with, in America, it was just so light and people were just so willing to go the extra mile. I remember our DP was very particular about where we shot what, and it was just such a wonderful process. And I just must commend, I was looking at the footage now and I just have to commend Avril on just the job she did on such a limited budget. and I have to commend Muzi as well. I'm just, he was an unlikely director because he was so reluctant to do it. He didn't think that he was, he was capable. And I knew from the very beginning, he was the only person that could direct this film. And from the moment we stepped, we touched down, he just knew exactly what to do. And I felt like I learned how to act. I learned how to produce all over again because of just his instincts, and he's just a purist in everything that he does. And I was very privileged to be acting under him. And Avril, just the job you did was wow. Thank you. Sorry, this is like a love fest.
Amazing. Wow. What a great team, a brother and sister team. And Avril, you must have, did you make it on 80,000 or did you go out and get more money? I mean, how could you do that?
We made it. Happen. I mean, that's the world I come from is indie filmmaking. When you don't have it, you make do, you figure it out. And I hope moving forward we'll
that's a lifetime.
But, so me too. Let's do it. Let's get some more attention. And well, you're very well connected. If you're over showing movies at CAA, everyone's watching you. Everyone's watching this film. Everyone's looking for the new world talent that mixes and matches. So you're on board, I'm sure. But who knows?
Yeah.
It's always scary.
But I will say though that actually I feel like if we did have the desired budget, and this is gonna sound obvious, we would not have this film. You know what I mean? Like if we actually had the desired budget, chances are, Lupita Nyong'o would be playing no Phumelele. Chances are, a bunch of things would have been different. But also, I remember the first day of shoot, and I thank you for believing I knew what to do, because I really didn't. Because I was in Manhattan, and it was a foreign city, and like there was that New York traffic. There was a bunch of chaos, and Avril said to me, Muzi, you don't have time to be as indulgent as you're being right now. You actually need to think about the edit, try to shoot for the edit. And I had to make some really vulgar changes to the script, to just run and gun and just shoot and just try to make the day happen. And my wardrobe, Chester Algernon, he was basically saying that I was complaining to him, like, I feel like I'm just too ambitious. I don't like the compromises that I'm making. And he basically was saying that you have to understand that what you're doing isn't compromising. It's called filmmaking by what you're doing. And that perspective, I think, just allowed me to just be a bit more creative and take a bit more risks in what we were doing. So yes, I actually appreciate the budget now that it's done.
It's a very exercise.
Especially now when you're trying to sell.
Yeah.
It's a good exercise not to have so much money. Creativity comes out of hardship, all that stuff. It's tough though. It's really tough. Oh, what happened to Muzi? You disappeared. Okay, we'll be back. So yeah, so Avril, what's going to happen next with the film? Are you getting distribution in US, international sales, festivals? What's going to happen next?
Yeah, so we'll see what happens next. We're definitely pursuing distribution options. We have a couple of options on the table. So, hopefully.
Something.
Oh, there we
go.
Sorry, I think I had some technical issues on my side. Sorry.
Yeah, I hear the sound wrinkling up. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are looking at a couple of options that are on the table, and we'll see what happens. I mean, hopefully you'll see African America coming soon on in a theater or on some platform soon. So that's our hope for it. But hopefully there'll be more news about that soon. And we do have a website. It's africanamerica.tv, where we'll be keeping all updates on the film, people can always go there to get any updates about what's next for the film.
Good.
But as far as film festivals right now, like I said, we have some offers on the table, so we're kind of holding out a little bit in terms of more film festivals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you leave it to the sales agent and the distributor to put it where they're gonna profit most from it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Good. Wow. Well, thank you. Do you want to add anything? I'm not asking a lot of questions, but I like this. It's been really a free flow of ideas, and it's covered everything I've wanted to. But maybe you want to cover something else that we haven't done.
I think for me, I guess, like especially when we do interviews with Americans, you know what I mean, talking about this film, I guess I've always been just sensitive about, like, you know, how, you know, they perceive our perception of the country of America. And I guess the thing I would leave is that the message of the film really is about because the film really, it has there's a running metaphor of the film between marriage and citizenship. That's the thing that, you know, that's the running metaphor, that simile that's actually going on in the film, and about saying that actually, you know, it's so easy to dream of a better circumstance. It's so easy to dream of a better political climate. So easy to dream of a better partner, a better spouse. It's so easy to dream of a better career. So easy to dream of, you know, better whatever circumstance it is. But I think what the film is about, and that's just really what I want people to walk away with the film, and also in our discussions of the film, is that that realizing your dream, and I say this everywhere, isn't as important as realizing who you are. That, you know, it's like there is no, like, realizing that who you become in the marriage is sometimes more important than actually your partner. More than, it's about that. It's about confronting one's own flaws, one's own cynicism, and how that can actually impede one's growth in whatever they do. And that's ultimately what the film is about, and that's ultimately what I want to impart as we promote the film. So yeah, that's the only thing I guess I wanted to leave. I don't know if anybody else has got anything else to.
Well, what you say is very important, and it's actually who you are, understanding and getting to who you are. It's like the journey leads to yourself. Your home is yourself.
Correct.
And
Correct.
that's really important.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And did I dream this, or was there a little epilogue? The grass is always greener where you water it. That was not a dream. That was such a funny little clicker on the end. And it was so true. I mean, we all have dreams. And what you were saying, I mean, US, well, I resonate with that just on a personal note. I came here for the Berlinale, I always do. And I wanted to write 6 months about my family's experience in Germany. And I stayed because of COVID. And I watched what happened in US from abroad. From a reasonably safe place. I watched my country just totally fall apart, totally devastatingly fall apart. And now it's coming here. It's not like, oh, I'm in paradise. I felt like I was in paradise. It's a foreign place. People are very nice. It's so not like America. It's had 75 years of peace, and America has not had peace since 9/11. I'm on my soapboard now, in my soapbox, I'm sorry. But right now, just as a point that I wanted to make, now the elections are starting here, and it's going to change all overnight here again, because the right is so strong here and the left so strongly left, and the middle is not holding because Angela Merkel's leaving. So I'm going to witness it here, and I know I'm going to have to go back home and face the music. But I think I'll be happy to leave here if it turns nasty like it did in US. I don't know. It's really important, that cross-cultural understanding that it's not so good at home and it's not so good abroad either. It's
There's
all
no
bad,
perfect
or
place.
it's all good.
There's no perfect place. There's
no perfect place on earth.
No, except in yourself. If you can come to yourself, then you can understand your journey, who you are. It's so important to know yourself. So
Sydney, I could not have said it better. Sydney, that was beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, Sydney knocked that out. I like that.
thank you.
Which I was taking notes.
We'll have a recording. I'll share it. I haven't figured out how to share it, and it's yours. Put it on your website. Okay.
Definitely.
So, Fumi or Avril or even Daria, anything else you want to add before we say goodbye?
Actually, Sydney, it's Pumi, Daria, and Avril. All our names are a little off of what people would think they would be. But it's fine. You were amazing, Sydney. You're an amazing interviewer. And I'm also an accomplished journalist. So yeah, you're an amazing interviewer. I was checking you out. So you're dope.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And of course, my clients are amazing as usual. And they just, they just make me so proud. They're so creative. I love you guys. They're so creative. They're so on point. They show you in the world what Black creatives are made of, that we never give up. We're resilient. We are incredible. And then let's be honest, Sydney, Black culture is international culture. So, respect the culture, respect the people who are the culture makers. So yeah, I love them.
That's great.
Love you too, Daria.
I love you guys.
Yeah, you're all a great,
Sydney,
really good.
Sydney, thank you for your time. Of course, if you need me, anything from me, if you need picture service, just email me. I'll get them right over to you with photo credits. And I just thank you for your time. And you were wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
I enjoyed it. I very much enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.
It was an honor. You're just so insightful, and it was great. Thank you.
Thank you. And I look forward to watching the film and seeing where it goes and seeing you all again. I look forward to seeing you face to face. Thank you.
Absolutely. With our mask on.
Thank you. Take care. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.